This is my wife, Jennifer. We're
State your name for the record, please. That'd be great.
Justin Kalnicky, Woodhaven Drive. We were one of the ones that was affected by the flood. Mr. Tom Wilson showed up the day after. Mr. Harvey was out of town. We do appreciate seeing you, helping us out. Definitely kind words coming from both of you guys. We had over 27 inches of water enter our basement. It all came down our backyard and flooded out our driveway, our cars. We are the house that ended up with an explosion that resulted in us being homeless. So we've talked to Mr. Harvey. We've called Joe Story. We've had sewage issues backing up into our house. Monroeville installed a grinder pump in our yard before we purchased our home. The grinder pump had gone out. Joe Story's been great responding, coming out, checking it, got some of those issues resolved. We've called several times to Jamie Story, never received return calls, which sounds like that's the common issue. We do not hear back. As residents, we want to know what's going on. We want to hear progress reports. Otherwise, it looks like nobody's doing anything, and it upsets us even more. Mr. Harvey was out, what was it, last Friday? Last Friday, we had another little burst of rain. My yard was underwater within about 4 minutes. Not only was it underwater from runoff, our sewage line was pumping up like a geyser out of the yard. So there's definitely an issue with the sewage lines. We asked if somebody can come take a look at those. As well as we have a piped-in creek behind our house. The piped-in creek, we're asking if somebody could take a look at that. Put a camera down it, run down through it, and see. 6 years we've lived in the house. It started out with a little stream down the side of the yard, and in the past 2 years, it takes me a week before I can cut grass. I had to buy chains for my lawnmower so I could get through my yard.
We've cut down trees.
I've cut down trees to allow sunlight into the yard to dry it up. I don't know what else to do. We've been told to French drain. The neighbors, same thing, French drain. Where can we French drain to? We can't. We're at a loss.
And we have to rebuild now, and we don't even want to rebuild on the property we have.
We love our location, but as a homeowner, you buy a house as an investment. Right now, I've thrown $35,000 out the window in 6 years. My investment is worthless. So we're asking that something be done. People come out and look. If any of the members want to come by the house, I'll meet with you, give you my personal cell phone number. I'll walk you through the house. I'll walk you through the yard. Please come out and take a look. Thank you.
Thank you.
Since I've talked to you, I have had a promise from 2 municipal authority people that they were going to come and look at that problem that I took pictures of in the backyard. And I don't know whether they came yet or not, but they told me they would be there.
Okay.
The water authority?
Municipal authority.
The municipal authority, okay.
Yeah, we have two. We have water and sewage problems.
Yeah,
Right
but
now.
the one that
We're separate from them,
Yeah.
even though we're kind of them. but
Yeah.
that's
when
why
I was
wanted
at
to
your
know who's
house,
he
the
called.
one that was spouting water was a sanitary sewer.
Correct.
So that's why I called the municipal authority. They told me they would be.
Have you talked to anyone other than Joe Story from there?
Joe Story is the only one. I have his cell phone number. So anytime we had a problem, I'd call him, leave him a message. It'd be about 5 minutes or less.
Yeah,
I'd
he's
get a
really-
return
He's
call.
really good.
So-
He's part of the sanitary
Yeah.
division.
Yeah, a week
So-
and a half before the flood, we actually had inches of sewage back up into our house because of the pump that they manage. And they had to come out and they told us that it had failed and they had to replace the whole
I
thing.
was just going to say that.
Okay.
So we legitimately we were just cleaning up from that in our basement when this 27
came
inches
through.
came through. I mean, we don't usually get water in our house like that.
Yeah.
Well, they told me that they didn't know that your pump had failed until you called that time.
Right. Yeah, I called them on my way.
Apparently that
back
red
in.
light on the telephone pole tells you it's working. It's
That it started,
doing
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, we're terribly
Sorry.
sorry to hear about your
Sorry.
ordeal, but we will have someone come out to evaluate the items that you mentioned.